Hello, welcome back to HowtoRPG, and it's all about monsters. Yes, we're going to talk about an actual monster today, and I'm drawing from everywhere. Okay, so for those of you who thought I was going to be pulling from just one location, no, we're going to go from every source that I could pull from. I've gone and done that. You can see before you the Creature Codex and Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, both very good monster books, although Esper would state usually that his book is like half a monster book rather than a full monster book, but there's quite a few monsters in there. Okay, all right, I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. I'm going to do a presentation, talk about the Ghoul, and then we'll open it up and do a bit of workshopping. I'm sure you are familiar with my process nowadays. Okay, all right, that seems to be working fine. We'll get over to there, get rid of this. So grab your food, grab your drink, make sure you're comfortable, get ready. Let's go on a ride. Let's talk about the I don't even want to say the undead because it's kind of not quite right, which we will soon discover when I start talking about the Ghoul. Anyway, let's do that because that's probably why you're here. Hi, welcome to HowtoRPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games, but specifically we're going to hone in on the Ghoul. That's right, Ghoul, or if we look back at some of how the pronunciation had changed over time, it was actually pronounced Ghul, Ghoul. And I'm going to explain a lot of this to you today. Now, when you think of the Ghoul, you usually think undead. But that's not really the case. So the Ghoul is actually a demonic being that inhabits isolated locations, burial grounds, and desert. Ghoul folklore refers to them as jinn, or spirits who were the offspring of Iblis, the prince of darkness. This is an unholy monster, the Ghoul. It is a shape-changing creature that kills travelers and eats them. Okay, the key aspect of the Ghoul is the fact that it will feed on meat, preferring flesh that is fresh. So fresh meat, but it will eat carrion if it has no other choice. The alignment of a Ghoul and their behavior indicate that they are always evil. Ghouls have become undead creatures, somehow, once human, who now feed on the flesh of corpses in fantasy role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. But originally, they were not undead. Would you believe it? Well, I would believe it because a lot of things get changed. Biology for the Ghoul. Now, this is a little bit confusing because there's lots of different types that are going to be described here. I'm going to try to break them apart for you. So the shape-shifting Ghoul is very different biologically to an undead Ghoul, first thing to understand. Some ghoul shape-shifting ghouls appear to be humanoid canines, or should I say, not a humanoid, but yes, I guess bipedal canines that transform into a four-legged hyena. It's quite common when you look at the lore behind them and the mythology, that's what you get. Ghouls can shapeshift into any animal they like and any humanoid shape that they like. It's not uncommon for a ghoul to be identified as being a humanoid with hoof-like feet. A Ghoul that shapeshifts is capable of appearing as an exact copy of anything that it consumes. So as long as the body has not degraded too much, if it consumes that body, it can actually transform into whatever body it ate. The brain of a shapeshifting Ghoul is unusual as it takes on the memories of any fresh brain that it has been consuming. So it's possible for a Ghoul to disguise itself as an individual who was alive at some point and do a pretty good job of it. The undead Ghoul has no distinguishing biology other than they do not degrade over time and can originate from any creature whatsoever. A Ghoul can move around as a bipedal humanoid or a quadruped, and apparently they prefer to move around as a quadruped rather than a bipedal humanoid. But they will do the bipedal humanoid so that they can eat them. Depending on the type of Ghoul, they might be sensitive to light, while others are not sensitive to light, because you can have a Ghoul that exists within a society, and I'll discuss that shortly. Now, combat with the Ghoul. Ghouls attack by clawing with their filthy nails and biting with their fangs or teeth. The ghoul's touch causes humans to potentially become paralyzed in Dungeons and Dragons and a lot of other role-playing games. This includes dwarves, gnomes, half-elves, halflings, but it does not include the elf. The ghoul's paralyzing touch lasts for less than a minute, and it can be negated by a priest or a cleric casting some sort of spell or incantation. Any human or demi-human except for elves killed by a ghoul's attack will become a ghoul unless they have been blessed or blessed and then resurrected. Obviously, this can be avoided if the victim is completely devoured by the ghoul. Then, of course, they wouldn't transform into a ghoul because there's nothing left to actually transform into a ghoul. A pack of ghouls will always attack without fear, and it's pretty difficult to make a ghoul afraid of something. But in large groups, they don't really see any point in running away. Once a ghoul has killed its victim, it will eat the body, usually in private. It's not going to go and munch down in the middle of battle on somebody if there's still a fight involved. It will take the carcass or the body away to a private location and consume it at its leisure. Now, the habitat and society of your ghoul. Ghouls are frequently encountered around graveyards where they can find plenty of corpses on which to feed. The habitat of a ghoul has a wide range of environments. You can have desert, you can have something that's underground, cemeteries, as I just mentioned, manufactured tunnels, they seem to be drawn to those, or any kind of manufactured complex, but quite often these are underground. It's not the only place you will find them, but the most common locations. The ghoul likes to feed on fresh meat from humanoids, but specifically they like to eat children because they are the easiest prey. Okay, and of course they taste a lot nicer. Reproduction for a ghoul is horrifying, and there are a few methods that can be involved when you see a ghoul forming, and I'm going to give you all of them. You can have a male or female ghoul who actually mate and then give birth to a baby ghoul. Now, the problem with this is, unfortunately, the young ghoul will often be devoured by the parents, so they don't last very long. On rare occasions, the ghoul may mate with a living humanoid, which is possible, to produce a hybrid offspring. So usually, the early stage of its life, it will look very much like the original living humanoid, or at least the humanoid that it is reproduced with. And bearing in mind that ghouls aren't necessarily undead, although some versions of them are, the ones that aren't undead and in fact are living, they can actually reproduce, and usually around puberty they will start to manifest a lot of the aspects of the ghoul. Okay, extremely evil humanoids can become a ghoul as well when they die or when they eat one of their own species. This is one of the things that I have found. Being bitten by a ghoul or coming in contact with body fluids from a ghoul can also transform a humanoid into a ghoul. And finally, a ghoul can leave an egg, or I guess an embryo, inside the corpse of a female humanoid that then will grow and consume the dead body and then break free when it's fully developed, which is kind of the most disgusting way that I can possibly imagine having the ghoul reproduce. But there's lots of different ways that you can have ghouls come about. Now, because the ghoul is a jinn, they appear to be quite often a beautiful young woman, and then they will feed on the lustful men who are lured to them. You can have the reverse, but quite often they are depicted in mythology and folklore as being beautiful young women, particularly in the desert, who lure some individual who's on their own away from the group and then devour them. Although the ghoul enjoy feeding on fresh meat, they also collect or steal coins. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, but apparently they have a thing for collecting coins and stealing stuff. It's common for a ghoul to carry deadly diseases on their skin that don't actually affect them, but affect everything else around them. Although the change from a human to a ghoul usually means that they become rather deranged and it destroys their mind, they still have a terrible cunning. They're still extremely cunning hunters, which enables them to hunt their prey more efficiently and effectively. Now, when I say deranged and destroys their mind, what I'm really referring to is when you go from a human becoming a ghoul, and we're talking about the undead ghoul, that's when their mind is sort of lost. Ghouls are vaguely recognizable as once being human, if they have been transformed, but have become horribly disfigured by the change or transformation to a ghoul. A transformed ghoul's tongue, if you look at how it's built, it's usually quite long, it's tough, and it's designed for licking marrow from the cracks between bones. Also, the teeth become very pointy and sharp and elongated, as well as the nails grow stronger and sharper like claws. It's possible for a shape-shifting ghoul to blend in with another society or civilization and remain unnoticed for years, but this only refers to the shape-shifting ghoul who is not an undead ghoul. Now, one of the other things you might want to know, and that is, with regard to the ghoul, there's a strange problem that the ghoul has. If it is not able to feed, if it's not able to eat or consume meat and get enough sustenance into its body, it can lose its mind and become just a voracious, mindless eating machine. And this is a different type of ghoul. This is where the ghoul has sort of lost its own identity, and it's certainly falling below what you would normally get from your standard ghoul. Okay, all right. Now, what happens with a ghoul in the environment? So the ecology of a ghoul looks like this. Ghoul infestations usually cause plague. Okay, because you have so much disease on the skin of a ghoul, the infestation, if it gets quite large, if there's enough of them in a particular region, then this plague will spread to plants and animals, killing a lot of plants and animals in the area. You'll usually find no carrion or animal corpses remaining when a ghoul is in an area because they eat everything. Okay, now this also means that wild scavenging animals in a region will leave because the ghoul has eaten all of the carrion, and they will leave that location and go hunting somewhere else. So you don't usually see vultures and any kind of scavenger in a location where there's too many ghouls. Now, with enough ghouls in a location or area, the environment suffers catastrophic disaster. Like, the whole region can just die off. So how do you incorporate the ghoul into your adventure or role-playing game? Now, a lot of these ideas, some of them are from me, but a lot of them come from the Game Master Roundtable that I put on with Wally DM. So a lot of these ideas are from Wally DM, AJ Pickett, I believe might be Mark from Dungeon Class, and the okayest DM, Dennis. Ghoul, you could have a ghoul that is dug up or digging up corpses in a graveyard and feeding on them at night. It's probably the most common idea you've ever seen, right? Like that's kind of what you expect, ghouls digging up bodies. You can also have a kingdom of ghouls that feed on human flesh, and of course, somewhere along the line you have to have a ghoul that's a leader to control all of them. You might even want to include, say, a ghoul that wields a bone sword that drains life, energy, or force from other living beings. Rather than eating them, it draws out their life. And then you might want to have a character bitten by a ghoul transform into a ghoul. If you want to actually shake things up, having one of the characters bitten by a ghoul and then slowly but surely transform into a ghoul sets them up with a lot of different problems to solve. You might even want to include something like a ghoul virus that results in the victims turning to cannibalism. And so, of course, if you've got a region that's starting to sort of suffer this virus, they've got to find some cure or solution to the ghoul virus. You can have a nation of ghoulish servants that worship Orcus. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, you'll know who Orcus is, and for anybody who recognises the name Orcus and how far back that goes, well before Dungeons & Dragons, there's quite a lot you can do with this. You could have an elderly ghoul that is like going on vacation, or should I say an elderly couple that who are ghouls that go on vacation around the world, but they don't actually like to stand in line at the various activities, when they go to Waterworld or they decide to go over to Disneyland or something like that, whatever it is, whatever theme parks they're venturing to, whatever hotels, motels, resorts they're attending, they don't like to stand in line. So they just paralyze everybody in line and then just skip the line, go right to the front. Okay, I'm playing with you a little bit with this one. I have to say, Wally, I thought it made us laugh so much when you mentioned this one. A ghoul that feeds on insects and protects a vampire during the daylight hours would be quite fun too. Now, this is not an original idea. This is actually taken from the movie Fright Night 2, where basically one of the protectors for the vampire, the key vampire, is a ghoul, and they don't eat people. They just eat a lot of insects, and sort of their whole insides is just full of insects. Now, how do you defeat a ghoul? A ghoul is particularly difficult to kill due to the fact that it has regeneration and resurrection features, which is not great. So a priest or a cleric can easily scare a ghoul off if they want to, or reduce them to ash with a holy turning power or ability. It's not always the case, but generally, if you look at something like Dungeons and Dragons and roleplay games, that's how they sort of look at destroying them. In fact, they are much more difficult to destroy than that when you look at the folklore and mythology. A ghoul needs to be killed in a single blow. Otherwise, it will resurrect itself. So if you strike twice, that might actually mean that it comes to life again. Decapitating a ghoul is generally the best method for killing them so that they don't regenerate from the injury, because they can't regenerate an entire head. So if you decapitate it and separate them, then you're pretty much guaranteed it's not coming back. Burning a ghoul to ash so there's nothing left also eliminates the ghoul permanently. You can also dissolve the ghoul completely with acid, and this will successfully destroy the monster. But you need to use a very strong acid. A ghoul can be harmed with normal attacks, but they are completely immune to sleep and charm spells when you're dealing with Dungeons and Dragons. And the magic circle of protection from evil actually keeps the ghoul at bay, and that's in Dungeons and Dragons. So there's a couple of different ways you can deal with a ghoul. Some of these are a mixture of role-playing game concepts, and some of them are taken from folklore and mythology. You pick the one that you like, or use all of them if you like. That's cool too. Now, the origins of the ghoul go as far back as Arabic mythology and legend, Persia mythology, Islam. Look, ghoul might have actually come from Gulap, the name of a Akkadian demon in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, which is kind of interesting. So when I say ghoul, I mean G-H-U-L, and it's coming from the word Gulap, which is G-A-L-L-U-P. Originally, the ghoul was not an undead monster, as I said. And I think it is far more interesting as a creature that is not undead, that can become undead later on because they are so difficult to destroy. So you can have a ghoul that is actually a living being, and then when you finally destroy it, unfortunately the sodding thing comes back, and this time it's the undead ghoul version. You can also refer a lot of your stuff back to the stories from the Arabian Nights, because they included ghouls. The only difference is that a lot of the Arabian Nights stories were changed so much that the original ghoul depicted in them were referred to as being like an undead creature, when in fact they weren't like that at all. The key thing to remember is with the ghoul is they like to eat somebody, and eating meat is their thing. And if you can avoid that, it's always a good thing too. I'm hoping that this was useful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this every single week. And I want to thank you for watching the video. And if that was all I had to say, that is all I have to say for this week. So, hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. All right, let's get into this. Where are we? I need to grab a link for people. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to put in here a link to the Call of Cthulhu Big Metal D20 dice that are being given away by D&D WoW. So if you haven't entered the competition, please go and join the competition. It's worth it. It's a cool dice. It's worth your time. Go check it out. Make sure to confirm your email when you get sent an email confirmation. Okay, you need to confirm. If you don't confirm the email, then it doesn't go into the draw. All right, let's have a look what we got here today. I'm going to take the hat off because I'm actually getting really warm in here. I'm going to have to open the door in a second too. Sorry about that, people. You have to deal with my balding head and my scruffy head. I need to go and get a haircut, I know. Okay, so let's have, how is the poll going? We'll leave the poll for a little while. It looks like a lot of people have seen the Resident Evil movies. I referred to the Resident Evil movies because, I mean, it was the one that stood out. I guess Night of the Living Dead would be another sort of set of movies that have a lot of ghoulish, zombie, undead things going on there. I guess one of the things I thought was interesting is the fact that at least the undead or the monsters in Resident Evil are always trying to eat somebody, and that's why I pointed you in that direction. Prepare, cook, and survive. Hello, how are you doing? I'm sorry you were not able to make it today, Dylan. That's cool. You go do what you need to do. The live streams don't get hidden. You'll be able to find them. They're not going anywhere. Hi, Nick. How's it going? How are you doing? What do you got here? Hello, Scott. How are you? I prefer ghouls to zombies. I think after looking really closely at ghouls and the original mythology and lore and the stories told about ghouls, I actually like the original Ghoul far more than I did before. It's just better because otherwise the Ghoul just feels like a zombie that paralyzes you. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now the Ghoul is got it consumes meat. It needs to feed. If it doesn't feed, it can become deranged. It's possible for it to be a living creature and then become an undead creature, which is just fascinating. But the fact that it can shapeshift into anything it wants, the fact that it can take on the memories of from the brain that it has consumed, I thought these were like by far the best concepts out there. And there was just so much more. Just more than what D&D has normally offered or Pathfinder has offered. So the appropriation of the concept of the Ghoul, I don't think they did it service. I actually feel like they've taken too much away and focused in on one aspect only. What do you got here, Nick? I like to play the variant ghouls that are smart and use some tactics. Yes, and it makes sense that that they would, that they would be quite cunning and they would use tactics and they would be stealthy and they would deceive you. I really like that. So shape-shifting ghouls. So what do you got here, Nick? Do they always get memories of the things they eat? So for them to actually take on the memories of another creature, as I had mentioned, the ghoul must be a shape-shifting ghoul. So if it's just the undead version of the ghoul, then they can't really shape-shift because it seems to be a different mythology going on there. It's a different story. I think it's essentially, it feels like a different ghoul. Okay? But if we're dealing with the ghoul that is a living being and not undead, and it's the shape-shifting one, yes. But it must eat a fresh brain. If the brain has been hanging around too long and degraded, then apparently it can't take on board the memories from that brain. So it needs to be a fairly fresh brain for it to work. What do you got here, Scott? Very animalistic. Yes. Yeah, it is very much an animalistic creature. The old zombie movie, Night of the Living Dead. Yes, I was going to mention it. Yeah, I think I did. Did I mention the Night of the Living Dead? Or something like that. Was actually flesh-eating ghouls as opposed to zombies. Now, I can't remember I don't remember that fact, but I would not be surprised. I think it's a far more frightening concept. How's it going, Dungeons and Chronics? How are you? I would totally use saves versus disease if the ghoul is attacked. Yeah, I think that using some sort of disease or infection is a good idea. Absolutely. Love that idea. It just makes the ghoul significantly more of a threat, and there's a lot more at stake because by leaving ghouls and not disposing of them, if enough of them wind up in an area, you can have the entire ecology just destroyed. Plants, animals just die, and not because they were eaten, but because they died from disease. And of course, as soon as they die from disease, the ghoul doesn't have to chase them down; it just goes and eats the corpse. How's it going, Joseph Murphy? How are you? How's your day going? To kill a ghoul in one blow, one attack, you need power attack feats 3E. So here's the thing. Like I'm talking a little bit less about when I was saying that about the game mechanics of it, and more about the fact that you're probably looking at more of the mythology behind it. Okay, but even if the creature goes down, it's not necessarily going to be standing up straight away. There's also the opportunity to set it alight once it goes down. So you burn it so it's completely destroyed that way. Throw acid on it, acid vials. There's a reason why we have them. I'm not going to get a beard. I've tried having a beard and a mustache in the past, and I always wind up with skin problems. Prepare, cook, and survive causes me so many issues. You're all good, Joseph? Good. And the problem is it gets really cold, and so I don't have that much hair in the right place, but it's at least enough to keep my head relatively warm. You could say, oh, just wear a beanie all the time. But the problem is I always found that sometimes it's just not convenient to wear a beanie. Wearing a beanie is not as good as having hair. That's what I find. So, yeah. But, yes, I do need to have a haircut and at least a trim. Tidy things up a bit. Now, for those of you who don't know, in about less than 4 weeks, I'm going on holiday. What's this, Dungeons and Chronics? Daragar. Daragar are the same? Is it Daragar? I think that's what you're saying, Daragar. I am not sure if they are the same. I honestly don't know. So I'm going on a holiday, as I said, and that means that I'm probably going to invite my brother to paint miniatures on the channel while I'm on holiday. Are people interested in seeing that sort of live stream? Look, if you say no, you say no. If you say yes, you say yes. I'm just curious, since those of you who are here and obviously into the monster stuff, I'm just curious if anybody is interested in me and my brother sitting down. Dave will do the painting and I'll do your talking. I'll do it reasonably quickly at the beginning of the day. Sorry, I've got a bit of gas. And then wrap it up and then go off and do my holiday stuff. But yeah, I can do that. I guess I would schedule it about 10 a.m. in New Zealand Standard Time. And I don't know what time that would be for you in North America or any other part of the world. But yes, we could do that. I know he'd be up for that. Now, you might have noticed that we've been building a lot of tools. I've been building quite a few tools with you that allow you to build your own monsters. So far, if I take a bit of a note down here, the monster tools that we have built are 1. Monster origins. So we did a table of 20 origins. More beach time? Well, it's autumn, so it may not be warm enough, but we'll see. The good thing about global warming is that it seems that the climate during autumn, winter, and spring is a lot warmer in New Zealand than it used to be. So it might be beach time, Scott, for sure. But I don't know how well it's going to work out. We'll see. Autumn is a strange time of the year. You can get all sorts of things going on. So we did Monster Origins. Now I've already done a table for that, and I've already uploaded it to Patreon. We did Monster Tactics. Not Monster Tactics. We did Monster Traits. These are things that are always in effect. Okay, and there were 100 traits that we came up with that I put up onto Patreon. Okay, we've also done what do you got here? I'm here to talk about DM bits and create goofy characters. Prepare, cook, and survive. Good. We'll talk about DM bits by all means. You're down, Dungeons and Chronics. You're down for watching some live stream painting. It would only be for an hour because I feel like after an hour, both of us want to sort of just go and do something else. Do you know what I mean? And that would be during my holiday time. So yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The other thing that we have done, and we finished yesterday as it happens, was monster special abilities. Monster special abilities. Now, one of the things I noticed is I didn't see too many books that have something like this, which I'm really glad to see. I haven't put this up onto Patreon yet, but I will when I get a chance, okay? The other thing that we have built just recently, which I haven't put up onto Patreon, but I will when I get time to do so, and that is monster body parts. So you use this, I think it's a table of 20. I think we actually had slightly more than 20, but there's 20 different body parts, and you just roll a dice or you select what you want and you build your monster from the different body parts. And I always wanted to have something like that, and apparently Advanced Dungeons and Dragons try to do something like that. I think the one we made is slightly better, and I haven't seen anybody else do anything like that I thought was really cool. So yeah, if we now my question for you is, and I'm going to put this into chat, is what other monster building tools do we need to make? What have we not made that we need to make? Yeah, that's where my head is going for today. What monster, or should I say homebrew? Because I'm all about you building your own homebrew stuff. What homebrew monster tools do we still have to make? Have to make. Come on, get it. Have to make. And hello, Square Peg. How are you? I'm going to open my door, people, because it's getting really warm in here. Alright, that's just... Okay, I'm back. Let me just... You might hear a bit of background noise. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of the tools that we've made together on the live streams are not actually on Patreon for you to download, okay, is because I've been working on it. You're doing good. I'm glad to hear it, Square Peg. The reason being is that I've been working on a more narrative role-playing game that's very simple, that anybody can pretty much play, and I wanted to finish that first. And because I went to the movies, now so some of you may know that I put up a very short video on the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. So I went and saw, over the past couple of weeks, I've gone and seen Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, and the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. And I enjoyed both movies. And they're both doing extremely poorly in the theatres, and primarily because, I guess, why are they doing badly? They were released March, April, and May. There's been so many good movies come out, and so the competition is really tough. And that Dungeons and Dragons movie was so expensive to make. You know, it was so expensive. There's so much special effects. Practical effects aren't actually necessarily any more expensive than digital, but they just take more time at the pre-production stage. And unfortunately, every movie is doing really struggling. I think the only ones that are not struggling is John Wick 4, and that Super Mario Brothers movie is doing very nicely. Creed 3 did very well, but anyway, that's my movie. I like movies, people. So yeah, so that's part of the reason why those tools haven't gone up to Patreon, but they will. But I want to focus down on getting the stuff done, and the notes, all the stuff I talked about in terms of the Ghoul will go up onto Patreon hopefully this week. But as I said, I wanted to get everything done for the role-playing game that we've been building. What's this? Ways to portray an evil monster, e.g. had a leader bugbear slice the pet wolf's throat to punish the monsters for failing to capture the party. So, evil monster behavior, is that what we're talking about there? Prepare, cook and survive? Is that what you mean? I'm not entirely sure if that's exactly what you mean, but yeah. You'll hopefully let me know if am I on the right page? Is evil monster behavior or just monster behavior? I think there was something like that in... Didn't Tasha's release something that was kind of a bit half-hearted? You had like 4 options or something like that. It wasn't very broad, but I guess the biggest problem is that depending on the monster, they could have very different sort of behaviors going on. Let me just have a look here. Let me write that down. Anyway, but you'll let me know, prepare, cook and survive if that's what you mean. So this is additional ideas. And that would be monster behavior. Is that... I think that's what you mean. Ways of making monsters sound evil. How to make monsters evil? I'm not sure what I'm a little lost on what I'm supposed to do with that. Hang on. Make monsters evil. Question mark. That sounds like a very difficult task. I wonder if there's something online that I can find that would be like that. D&D, is it D&D Speak might have something like that. They often have really big tables and charts that you can work from. Vin, DM Tools, Pocket. Alright. Oh, I see. The 100 lists. Let's just hit that button there. No, it doesn't do anything. Books, classes, ecology, food, magic, monsters. There's one on monsters. What has he got for monsters? 100 items found in a Yuan-Ti's lair. 100 goblin tribes. Okay. 100 ways to show your villain is complex, tragic. That's interesting. That's more a villain than a monster. 100 unique dragon hordes. 100 reasons why the villain doesn't kill the heroes when they have the chance. Oh, God. Okay. A hag generator. 100 effects from looking upon a great old one. Okay, so this is very Call of Cthulhu going on here. 100 villainous character traits. 100 villainous character traits. I feel like that falls better into the NPC creation, because that's more like a villain, feels like it more like an NPC, not necessarily specifically a monster. 100 marks of darkness. 100 demon physical traits. Good Lord, can you actually find 100 demon physical traits? 100 beholder personalities. Okay. Very specific. And it would have to be called iTorrent, I think. So what do we got here? So you're saying here, let me just have a look what you've said. We got here, Joseph. What about a monster motivation random roll table? Monster motivation. Okay. Monster motivations. Are there enough motives that we could do 100 rather than just 20 though? I guess that's the question. Would it be possible to, Joseph, for there to be 100 monster motivations? Because that's quite a few, right? It would be a task to make that happen, I would imagine. Okay, I suppose it would be evil backstory, traits, and behavior. So are we talking about behavior or are we talking about backstory? I think backstory is kind of like the origin. We already had monster origins, which I think is part of what you're talking about there. Maybe it's monster behavior that you're trying to... I think that's what you're trying to say is monster behavior. What is monstrous behavior? What does it look like? Are people feeling that those are the sorts of things? Monster motivation, monster behavior. It feels like you're kind of trying to go in the same direction. Somebody's using a chainsaw. Hang on. So much for me not sweating to death. There's a chainsaw going and it's making a lot of noise and I can hear it. It's actually distracting for me. If you can hear it, I can understand if you were frustrated, because I was. 100 things demons, devils ask for in their contracts. Oh my gosh. 100 demon, devil contracts. Okay. 100. I'm going to give you this link, people. I'll give you this link, because maybe this will be useful to you. I don't want to remake something that somebody else has made if I can help it. If we're going to make something, it needs to be better than somebody else has done. So this is D&D Speak, a website, and it's got a whole bunch of stuff on monsters. This is what I'm looking through it right now. I'll share this. I'll share what I'm looking at right now with you. How's that sound? So you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. So this is the website here. This is what I'm looking at right this second. And this is D&D Speak. And I'm working my way down here looking at the different things. They've got quite a few different ideas for building out your monsters. Roll randomly or just select off your 100 items chart seems to be a smart idea. 100 items in a hag's lair. 100 eldritch horrors. That's interesting. 100 angels and their descriptions. Oh, good lord. 100 interesting boss mechanics. That's interesting. What has he done there? We might come back to that one. 100 familiars and pets. I don't think it's very monstrous. 100 ghosts unfinished business. Okay. That's quite interesting. 100 cultist items. 100 demon lords. Oh god, he's got a list of 100 demon lords. Really? 100 fey bargains and 100 things in an ogre's pocket. Now that's fun. That kind of reminds me a few years back. I think it was Wizards of the Coast made a chart. It wasn't that big. It was certainly not 100 items, but things you would find in a giant's pocket. And I always thought that was a lot of fun. It reminded me of the trinkets tables. I'm a big fan of the 5e trinkets tables and any trinket table really. So maybe I'm going to have just a quick look at what we've got here. 100 things in an ogre's pocket. Do we want 100 things that monsters might have on them? The problem is that monsters, this is an intelligent monster. Yeah, they're going to have pockets really, because you're not going to find stuff in their stomach. Entry. Club. Mushroom. Elf bone. Firewood. Huge frog. Mutton. Food scraps, jar of bugs. Yeah, it's all right. I guess it's all right. It's just like one or two words. It's not. I don't feel like it's enough. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's all rightish. But he's got here 100 demon lords. He's actually got 100 demon lord names. Oh, this is much more extensive. Look at this. The demon lords that he's come up with, he's not just given you a name, he's given you a little bit of information around the demon lord. Demon lord of warped bones and... Oh, okay. Lovely. Wonderful. And there's 100 of them. I wonder where he's taken them from. Has he taken them from existing folklore or mythology, or has he created his own completely... by the way, the person who does this website has a Patreon. They've done a lot of work here. They really have. They put out quite a bit of stuff. What was the other thing? I think there we go. Ghost's unfinished business. Find the killer, kill the killer. Okay. Give regards news to a loved one. Okay, so that looks interesting. If you've got a ghost, but as a general tool, because I'm thinking in terms of a general tool. I like the idea of monster motivations. I think that's quite clever in terms of a tool. But if it's going to be monster motivations, the reality is like, how many can we pull off? I guess that's the question. 100 villainous monster traits is what I was going for. Try the link, Fred. Okay, all right. Let's. So you okay? Try the. What do you got here, Joseph? What a monster wants, needs, and deals. What can the monster get the party, the PC party to do? Okay, 100 table. So you really, yeah. So I would want it to be a 100 table. Interesting boss mechanics. I saw the one you're talking about. Prepare, cook, and survive. We'll go to that in a second. Boss mechanics. I have to look through this. So he's done a lot of work. It looks like it's pretty extensive. Okay. It's very loosely, well, it's drawing from D&D quite a lot. And contracts, no. Now, where was it? Traits. No. I think this is this the one? Villainous character traits. It's not really monster. Let's try looking at the villainous character traits. Because the D&D 5e Dungeon Master Guide tried to do something with this, and I always looked at it and felt it was almost unusable. Because it was so broken up, there were so many charts that led on to other charts, and it didn't feel like it worked. There's a problem when you have too many linking things going on here. Okay, so this is entries. The villain is 100 convinced that they are the good guy and the players are in the wrong. Nothing anyone can do can show them otherwise. Okay. The villain is cruel and brutal and likes to show the players just how powerful they are with vulgar displays of violence. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I think what we want to do is we want to do something that's kind of like this but not like this. I think that's the reality. Yeah? Correct? Yeah. So I think that's the answer is we would do something like that. I'm just going to get rid of that screen because that was confusing for you. It was confusing for me. So maybe we start on that and see how far we get. So monster traits, monster motivations. I think monster motivations is a good start. Let's see if we can work with that. Could we go more in depth into the magnetic or trap location encounter from the cave ideas at some point, please? Is that so prepare, cook, and survive? You're talking about when we were talking about running adventures, and we talked about cave ideas and the magnetic trap stuff. Well, we're going to go back to that in 2 months. I'm going to run cave design, cave exploration, cave investigation, and we'll keep building on that over time. So it's not going to stop that discussion. I don't want to do it today because we're kind of supposed to be doing monster stuff. So maybe we start monster motivations right now. That chainsaw's finished and I need to grab a book. I might take a quick break just to grab a couple of things, come back, and we'll proceed. We'll actually we'll make a table of monster motivations. So let's see how far we can go. Hashtag. We will make a monster motivations table. 20 to 100. Question mark. Something like that. 2 months is that. That's awesome. Yeah, so Prepare, Cook and Survive, those programs, those running adventures, we always return to talking about introducing the adventure. So every week we run one of these. So the first one is introducing the adventure. The next one is caves. The next one is introducing a town or a village. The next one is dealing with castles, I think it is. Or is it villain lairs? I think it's villain lairs, then castles, then is it dungeons? God, I can't remember. I think it's dungeons. Ghost, is it ghost towns? I think there's ghost towns in there, and there's something else. Is it monster dens or monster lairs? I can't remember. I know there's a bunch of them. So you don't have to worry about that. That scroll that rolls around every 2 months. So with my holidays, it might be 2.5 months before we get to it. But let me just put this up, get you to have a think about that, and start thinking about what we want to use or put into it. And I will go take a quick break, 5 minutes, grab a few things, come back, and we'll get started. Okay, thank God that chainsaw's finished. Alright, let's step back in here. Okay, I'm getting myself comfortable here, making sure all my bits and pieces are available and where I need them. And let's share this giveaway link again one more time in the chat, and then we'll get started. Bam, bam, there. And I need some water. A lozenge, starting to get croaky my voice. So I've taken my my mid break. It's done. So now it's just work time now. So let's find a new document. Nice and simple. So we're just going to go hashtag monster motivations. Okay. Well, we're looking for 100 monster motivations. If we're going to shoot for it, we might as well shoot for it, right? Might as well. And make that a little bigger. I'm almost ready, people. Just give me a second. I didn't know exactly what we were going to build today, so I didn't actually have it preset. It's being done this very second. Okay. Okay, there's our document ready to go. All right, let's just have a look if I can bring that over. Here we are. Ta-da! Okay, monster motivations is a loner outcast and wants to amass followers. Undead minions, breed, construct, colon. Okay, followers. I guess we need to have maybe we have a tag for this. I don't want to say cult. I don't want to say followers. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll put followers for now. We'll put monster followers. How's that? Monster followers. And what we're looking at is the monster wants to so amass minions, amass loyal minions, loyal minions, or followers. I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. Okay, there's number 1 down. There's a couple here that we need to put in here. So feed. The monster wants to eat everything. There's always the simple motivation, right? Let's do them. Let's do them now. I need to make sure I put these in alphabetical order because the last time I had to reorder them, it just giant pain in the butt. So I will make sure to do that as I go. Monster motivations. Revenge. Okay, yes, revenge. Revenge is fine. Revenge. The monster wants to punish. Other creatures for a I guess what's the best way to describe this? For an unknown. Wrong. Slight act. I guess I don't know how else to describe this. Okay, so let's start adjusting this stuff. This could take us a little while, people. I do actually have a tool in front of me to help me, by the way. Let's see. Let's see what these tools here that Wizards of the Coast had, because that's probably a good starting point. Don't believe it's in this book. No. Chronics. Monster works for a higher evil because they're what? Pateries are hostage? I don't know. Grievance. Thank you. Grievance. That's better. Much better. Good. Following orders. The monster works for a more powerful monster. Boss. Let's do that. More powerful boss. There we go. So I'll cut that. Put it here. Partner as hostage. Partner hostage. Okay. I really want to use the word hostage now. Hostage. Partner captured. Okay. And the monster wants revenge on a trusted NPC, or the party wants the PCs to kill the character. I think we've got revenge covered. So the monster wants to punish another creature for unknown grievance. I think that's kind of covering the revenge thing. I don't think we need to do very much more with that. Okay. Partner captured. The monster is trying to rescue its partner from captivity. Captivity? Is that right? It's partner. MP. So that's in the right place. And the monster wants revenge. You've got that. Okay. The monster lusts after a love interest or the party. Lust. Well, I think lust is lust. We call it what it is. Lust. Lust. The monster loves or is infatuated. Oh, infatuated? No. It doesn't look right. That's right. Infatuated. It is. Oh, infatuated with another creature. Okay. Okay, that's an odd one, but we got it in. It's in there. Right, Tashas. you little minx there, Tashas. What do you got here? Apparently you have some tools in here about monster motivations. Is it under parlaying? It's probably under parlaying, and it's a tiny section, 148. What have you got here? Wizards of the Coast. Anything useful? What is reproduction? Reproduction. The monster is the monster is trying to produce offspring. There you go. That one's easy. Offspring. Parent. So that's under P. So reproduction. No, that's in the right place. Parent. The monster is protecting its babies. Now we can make our players feel so guilty for killing the monster babies. Why not? Seems legit to me. I would do it every single time. It's one of the things about Keep on the Borderlands is you got a whole lot of baby and children kobolds and goblins. What are you going to do about them? Talk about a moral dilemma. What's the Dungeons & Crux? Second in charge wants to overthrow the monarchy. So think monster, not villain. So we've got to. I feel like we're trying to head in the direction of villains. We can do villains some other day. Okay, we can do villains some other day. Let's try to focus in on monster. I'm going to throw a few things out here and see what people think in a second. So here we go. I think what you're trying to say is mutiny. M for mutiny. Mutiny. Okay, mutiny. The monster is trying to overthrow its boss or nation leader. We'll say nation leader. How's that sound? Kingdom leader. Kingdom's leader. Kingdoms or kingdoms. Kingdom's leader. Okay. Right, we need some monstrous stuff. What have we got here? Anything useful? Start at the back. Okay, so complete unfinished business. So complete a task that was unfinished while in life. Okay, unfinished business. So unfinished would sit in the no, and they'd be here. So this would be for a monster that's sort of like undead, I guess. Treasure. What's another good for a name for wanting treasure or stuff? Would it be something like, I guess, would it treasure hunter? Treasure hunter? Maybe it's treasure hunter. The monster wants treasure in the form of gold, gems, and magic items. The monster wants treasure like gold, gems, and magic items. How's that sound? There we go. Monster needs a bigger lair. Oh. Lair renovations. Is that what we're putting down here? Lair renovations. Lair renovations. I think that's what you would mean. Lair renovations. That's funny. Lair renovations. House renovations. Now we have lair renovations. How did we get down this topic? I don't know. The monster wants a larger den, home, or lair. The reason is unimportant. Okay, prepare, cook, and survive. You've got some good ideas today. Doing very well, people, I have to say. It's so funny. Unfinished business. The monster has a task to complete. The monster has an the monster has a task that wasn't completed during its life. Unfinished business. I think that's what we're looking at here. Lael. Is it Lael? Hang on, let me just get me the name right first. Lael. I can't get past the next one. It's too hard for me. I'm terrible with names. I really am. Monster is afraid, distressed by the presence of something or someone. Fear. We'll call it fear, shall we? Fear. Fear. The monster is afraid of something or someone. I think that's what you want today. Okay, let me just catch up on this. Got a lot of ideas being thrown out there, and we've only got 13. Well, that's impressive. The monster is confused by its own form, wishes to go back to what it was or become less ugly. So what's a way of describing this? It's a really interesting idea. It's very Frankenstein's monster, isn't it? When you think about Frankenstein, the doctor or scientist, and then you think about Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster doesn't really want to be a monster, so it's very much like that. It's just how do we word it? Double cross. Joseph, I'm not sure what to do with double cross. I'm just going to write it down for now. Double cross. Hostage. Okay, I needed to finish hostage as well. Exactly. Yeah, so I understand what you're trying to do with it. I just don't know how to word it so it's going to work. Because when you make a table or a chart of something, it's got to tell you pretty much everything you need to know, without getting too, there's got to be a better way of describing it. And I'm trying to use tags for it so I can find stuff later on, because we'll get repeats of these sorts of things. We need to be able to figure out what it is. To regain its humanity. Okay, so curse. Curse. Oh, I was trying to get to hostage, but we'll do curse now because it's there. Curse. The monster is cursed with its current form. The monster is cursed with its current form No, it's remove curse. The monster's cursed with its current form and wants it removed. Okay. So that's, I think that's how we'll word it. Let's go cut. R goes and remove. Think about there. It's extremely paranoid, making hard to capture confront. Okay, undone. What's undone? Undone. I'm not sure what undone's supposed to refer to. Let me just. Okay, I'm falling a little bit behind. Okay, it's confused by its own form, wishes to go back to what it was and become less ugly. Confused. Okay. Okay, that's, yes, I'll do something with that. Paranoid. Paranoid. I think I can understand what to do with paranoid. I work with a lot of paranoid people, so paranoid is something I have to contend with every single day. Paranoid. Paranoid. The monster believes everything and everyone is the monster believes everything and everyone is after it. Not really the best way to put it. Paranoid. Define. This might help a little bit. Let's do this. See if this works. Suspicious. I think that's the best way to describe this. Is definitely suspicious. Okay, so paranoid. The monster is suspicious. Of everything and everyone. Paranoid. Okay. I got. Oh, whoops. What happened there? Lost the stream for just a second on my phone. Hopefully it is not. Hopefully I have not fallen behind. I can just imagine right now. Just like probably like a gazillion comments that I've missed. I know. Good. This is still working. The monster is in pain and very aggressive when confronted. Pain. Injured. Pain. I think maybe pain is. Let's go with injured. I for injured. Where are we? Injured. I. Injured. Injured. The monster is in great pain. What to prepare? The monster is in pain, very aggressive when confronted. Monster is in great pain. Yeah, we could. I'm just going to put the monster is in great pain, and that does it. I think that's all we needed to have. I think we can. The rest of it can flow in from there. Let's do that. The monster is in great pain. Done. That was easy enough. Escape freedom. The monster wants to escape from its okay, all right. So, trapped. I think that's the best way to describe it. Trapped, escape, or maybe it is just escape. It wants to escape, break free from confinement or control. So we can use this definition right here, and we'll use escape, and that's done. EF, escape, and paste it without formatting. The monster wants to break free from confinement or control. There you go. There's another one. What else we got here? Have I missed anything? Remove curse. We had remove curse, but we could put a curse on some. What if we want to, the monster wants to put a curse on somebody? Curse. Let's go with the reverse of it. The monster is trying to place a curse on another creature. There. That's easy. That takes getting rid of it, and we've got putting it on. So come on, Fred. Just grab that little sucker. Let's put it in the right place. Cut. Curse. There we go. Done. That's down. Renegence. What's renegence? Okay. Keep or what? Get or keep a promise from party. Okay, Joseph. I need a little bit more help with that one. It's kind of like favor. It's like a favor, isn't it? I think that's what you were talking about. Favor? Is it favor? Is that favor or flavor? Right. No, British English, thanks. Just drink of water. Oh, favor. So, what you had put down. The monster is the monster requests, monster wants a this is where we're going to do this right now. Wants a, this is going to be help, favor, help, wants help. The monster wants help, or a promise of action from another. Okay, I think that's what we were trying to do there. Okay, got it. Selfless deed. Selfless deed. Selfless deed. I don't know what to do with selfless deed. Okay, so yeah, it's going to help me a lot more if you have a real good hard think about what it would be called as a tag and what it is, because sometimes it's hard for me to marry these things up. So if I've missed it, it's because I just don't know what to yeah. I just don't know what to do with it. Okay. Monster wants to regain foothold in an old territory. Conquer. I think what you're trying to say here is conquer. Would that be about right, Dungeons and Chronics? Conquer. Conquer. Man. Conquer. For those of you who are worried that we won't get it finished today, don't worry about it. We'll just come back and do it next week, because I do monster lore every week, so it's not like it's not going to be a topic that we discuss at all, because it will be. Overcome, take control of a place. Okay. Let's do this, something like that. The monster wants to overcome or take control of a location. Conquer. I think that's really, yeah. Overcome, take control. The monster wants to take control of a location and species. Let's do that. It's better. That's a little bit better. So we have 20 now. Oh, there's a couple here that we can fill out. I need to get this one done, but I keep falling behind as you guys throw more ideas at me. Moral obligation. Believe it's the right thing to do. Okay. Nicely done. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Because see, something like that, the way that you've written this, is I can just go straight in when you do that, and I can just cut it. Copy. Go straight back into here and drop it straight in. And it just speed up the process significantly. Is it moral obligation? Would that be the right wording for it? The monster believes it's the right thing to do. Okay, let's just have a look at obligation. Okay, an act or course of action to which a person is morally or legally bound. Duty or commitment. Morally or legally bound. And we've got moral obligation. Okay. The monster believes it is the right thing to do. Or ethical. Okay. So M, where do I put M? If I'm missing somebody's ideas along this way, you let me know, and I'll try to grab them as quickly as I can. Cut M moral. Should be about there. There we go. Okay, what am I? That's all right. I'm making my way through it. This can cover a whole range from political to religious, creating ambiguity. Yeah, I get where you're going with that. It's very, very broad. So, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah. So there's one of the reasons why we discuss these things in a kind of like a workshop environment in a live stream, is because if just one of us were to do this on our own, like if I were to do this on my own, it would be much harder. If you were to do it on your own at home, you probably never find the time to do it, and it would take you so long to come up with enough ideas. Do you know what I mean? So we actually generate a lot of material by working together. It's one of the reasons why I like doing the the game master preparation stuff. And monster lore is supposed to have a workshop at the end so we can brainstorm monster ideas, and that's what we're doing today. Monster acts childish and can be manipulated. Young. Actually, what you're suggesting, prepare, cook, and survive, is let's just say it's just young. Young or delinquent. Can we put down delinquent? I don't know. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Google. Typically, a young person tended to commit crime, particularly minor crime. Juvenile. Maybe the word juvenile. I think juvenile is probably the best way to go. Prepare, cook, and survive. I see what you've got there. May I ask any reason for not using something like GPT for some ideas here? I don't include so for those of you who are unsure, I don't include everything that people put down. Sometimes people do things in jest, and so I just exclude them sometimes. Sometimes I put them in. Sometimes I don't. Yeah. I don't just include everything. If I'm the one running the stream, so I have to make a decision about what I want to put onto my channel, and also what I want to put over to patrons, because ultimately patrons are going to wind up getting this. So that's really my decision to make. That's juvenile. Oh, juvenile. And we'll do this, and we will pluck. Let's do that. We can go there and copy that. Yeah, monster acts childish and can be manipulated. Okay, good. There are legitimate reasons sometimes where I just miss stuff because there's too much going on. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just miss stuff because I just don't see it. J. If should be there, juvenile there. Okay, so I got that one down. Rite of passage. What's a way of saying that? If we're talking about a monster going through a rite of passage, what would that be? So one of the things I want you to be careful of, you try to think monster rather than villain, okay, or NPC, because we can do motivations for NPCs. People try to think monstrous, try to think monster rather than don't get too high fandangled on this, okay? Because we can come back to NPC motivation some other day. Let's try to stick with monstrous stuff. Animalistic, dumb, monster has no intelligence and only operates on base needs. We've got a few base needs here already, like food and so forth. Self-defense. Somebody had said self-defense. Self-defense. I'll just make a note of that now. I don't know what to do. I don't know really what to do with that right now, though. Monster going through a rite of passage. Don't know what to do with that. Put a bit of question mark there. I haven't done anything with that yet. Hostage should hopefully be Hostage is pretty hyphen-angled. It's not very, yeah. Think monster, not NPC, not villain. I know villain monster sort of falls into that. You can have intelligent monsters, I understand. But we will easily wind up blurring the line too much otherwise. Test, trial. Ah, okay, trial. Okay, all right, cool. Belittlement of society, community. What's this? Belittlement? Yeah, if you're starting to talk about politics and religion, the idea has gone beyond a monster, I think, and gone into something else. We're now talking about a villain or an NPC sort of stuff. I want to keep it sort of, as I said, more monstrous if we can. Geesh. Just looking through here, trying to figure out where is your honor. Betterment of society, community. Maintaining territorial. Territorial. I think that's what you're trying to get at here, eh? It's a good one. Territorial. Territorial? Okay. Let's see if we can just port over that word and get myself a definition. It'll make it a little bit easier for me. Paste. Territorial. Relating to ownership of an area of land. Okay. Maintaining control. The monster is maintaining control of an area of land. Okay, that's good. Got it. Oh, we have Norok here. Hello, Norok. Norok is a patron, by the way. Welcome. Yeah, maintaining its power. Yeah. The monster is maintaining control and power. Okay, got it. Blood. What about bloodlust? Maybe it just needs to have blood. Bloodlust. The monster needs blood to survive. There's your vampire, really. Pretty obvious, that one. I'm aware. What are we working on today? So, Norok, anybody who's here, what we're working on is 100 monster motivations. So I want to try to steer away from just general NPCs, humanoid NPCs. I want to steer away from your villainous motivations. I want to just stay very monstrous in what we're working on. So we try to focus in on that sort of stuff. So it's a bit more primal, I guess. I don't want to go too much into society and civilization. I want to try to keep it. I'm sure there's going to be some overlap for sure, which is good because we can use whatever's left over potentially for villain motivations when we're doing NPCs. But yeah, I guess since the decision was we really wanted to have sort of monster motivations, let's try to go with monster motivations. So I am being a little bit selective in terms of what I put down. So far we have 25. 25. I haven't put trial in here. Okay. Rite of passage. Even a basic animal kind of has a rite of passage, doesn't it? Even a bird trying to fly has a rite of passage. Cut. Trial. After territorial goes there. Hostage. Paste. Okay. Instinctual aggression towards all other creatures. So what are we calling that? Just aggressive. I think that's what you were trying to say here. Aggressive. The monster only knows let's do this. This has bailed me out so many times doing this. Okay. The monster only knows how to interact with violence. Okay. So I could go instinctual, instinct aggressive or instinctual aggressive aggression, but I'm going to go just aggressive. When? Because it's easy to find later on. It won't be too hard to find at all. What do you got here? So Norok is a master at this sort of stuff, by the way. he gets this stuff done really well. Desire to prove oneself or gain recognition. I feel like that going to work better with a villain or NPC motivation, so I'm going to leave that one. Desire to prove oneself or gain recognition. I feel like that's more high-end stuff. Let's do this for now. Where is this? Let's go down. So that, comma. Okay. All right. Let's see. Remembrance. The creature needs others. This is very long. Needs others to tell stories of it to survive. It will do whatever it takes to make people remember. Oh, that is very strange. Here we go. I can't write it. That's way too long-winded. It's way too long-winded. Magic munchies. The creature seems to consume it. I see where you're going with this. Yeah, we were down that track. But yes, there's a reason why monsters seeks. Let's take this one. Remembrance. I'm still trying to figure out how to put that into a slightly dense sentence. Magic munchies. Creature requires the creature requires magic energy and the creature to consume magic energy to survive. So it's feeding off magic energy. Okay. I think I got what you got there going on. All right, Magic Munchies. Alpha dominates all around it to ensure its survival. Alpha. 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 Let's do this. Paste. Domains all around it. Okay. I think there's something else that I need to add here. I'm not sure what it is this present time. Okay. Remembrance. Jeez, how am I doing this? Let's just cut at this here and place this here. Okay. Okay. So that remembrance. The creature can only exist if others believe it does. It makes sure they do. I see. I see where we're going with this. Hunger for magic power. Oh, okay. You had already written that one down. Lael had already put that down. It's up here. I can see it now. What have I missed anybody's stuff? Needs new skin or body. Oh, Joseph. What the heck is it? What are we going to call that? Needs a new skin or body. Yeah. Good abbreviation. Okay, so that was all right. Okay, I think it's not too bad. Just trying to shorten things down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so what about this? Monster wants a personal item from a creature that Dungeon Digger. What about 40k's orcs, weapons and vehicles? So prepare, cook, survive. Is that I don't know if that's necessarily a monster motivation. Is that a monster motivation? I think that's a monster power you're talking about now. So we're going to have to be careful we don't wind up venturing into the monster powers thing again, people, because we've done them. And okay. Memento. The monster wants a personal item from an intelligent creature. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't like that one myself. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that one. Don't like that much at all. Transference for the body swap one. Dungeon Digger. The creature seeks to build and uncover labyrinths and dungeons. Oh, I see. I see what you're doing there. Okay, this is going to have to be the last one because I'm going to have to go to work. And unfortunately, my workplace has just been in chaos recently. And everybody just keeps getting sick. Apparently not me, though. Let me do this. Dungeon Digger. The creature seeks to build... Dungeon Diggers. Is it to build or uncover? Seeks to uncover. I think that's... Let's do that. Or build and uncover... It's kind of like your Minotaur, isn't it? I think that's what you're trying to do with this. Dungeon Digger is kind of like the Minotaur, isn't it? Would that be about right? I think that's what you're trying to do there. What's he put down? Variant. Obsession. Creature is fixated on a particular object or concept and will get... Okay, I can use that. Yeah, it's actually really good. Layal. Let's grab your idea. So we only need that bit. I think that will be more than sufficient. Let's put this in. That's done it. The creature is fixated on a particular object or concept. Obsession. Brilliant. Works for anything. Cut. O for P L-M-N-O-M-N-N-O-P paste. Okay, so we have a bunch that I haven't sort of decided how to deal with. I've got them there. We will highlight them for another day, but that looks to me like we've got at least over 30 and a few that I have to just try to fill out, which I haven't done because I've been trying to keep up with everybody. Transference, the body swap thing. I'm not sure. That sounds like a power again. Lonely, that you're seeking to be loved and accepted. Oh God. All right, I'll put that in as well. Okay, here we go. Are we happy with that? So at the rate we're going, it's probably not going to take us too many weeks to get this finished, I suspect. I think to be loved and accepted. There we go. Putting something else into the monster rather than I must have your flesh. Okay, all right, people. I really do have to go. So if I have missed your idea, save it for next week. Okay, hang on to that idea for next week because I have to go. So we do monsters every week, and look, I don't have anything specifically prepared to present next week, so we can spend a bit more extra time on this, monster motivations. Maybe I'll go over and talk about the monster motivations we've already done, and then we'll build on top of that. Maybe that's a good way to sort of get things rolling. Okay? Let me just grab this thing here and chuck this in here. Hey, thank you for everybody's assistance. Everybody who's been putting your ideas in there. If I've missed them, I've tried to sort of construct them or reconstruct them or whatever. And if I've missed an idea, maybe I've just thought it was better somewhere else. Because I want to do monster motivations and I want to do villain motivations, specifically the villain motivations. Villain motivations would look a little bit differently. So that'll be a process we'll go through at some point, more than likely. But I think we'll save that task. That task can get finished next week. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Noroak. Thank you, Layol. Is it Layol? You'll either have to tell me, Lael, if I ballsed up your name, because I feel like I probably have many, many times. Okay? And Prepare, Cook and Survive, thank you very much for all of your input today. It's been really helpful. Dungeons and Chronics, thank you for your input as well. It's tough when you present an idea. It's like, oh, why didn't he take that idea? It's like, I guess the best way to describe trying to run a live stream on YouTube is trying to corral a whole lot of people's ideas into one direction. I mean, sometimes it's not that easy to do. And yeah. Now, I also have some buddies who are live streaming right now. So that live stream is on Esper the Bard's channel, and they're doing Monstrous Heroes, people. You might be interested to go and watch them hang out. Okay? You never know. It might be your thing. Maybe it's not your thing. I was playing with them, but I had to sort of stop. It didn't seem to be any end in sight to that particular campaign, and I just don't have the time. So it's not happening right now for me. Okay, all right, let's see. Let's get out of here. I've got that done. All right. Okay, so big, huge thank you to everybody in the live stream who's provided their ideas and suggestions today. Whether your idea was put down or not, it still definitely made me think about what to put in here, okay? And don't feel bad if your ideas were not included or not put down exactly the way you had constructed them. Sometimes I just have to rearrange stuff for it's better suited somewhere else. But we got a lot done today. I want to thank all of the patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this sort of thing. Really, without them, there's no live stream. Really? Because there is just no live stream. All of the stuff will go up onto Patreon when it's finished. There's already a lot of stuff, already a lot of tools on Patreon for building your own monsters. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll. If you just watched that, thank you very much. If you're re-watching the live stream, hey, huge big thank you. So you know the story. You know what I usually say. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're it's the morning, the afternoon, night, or the wee early morning, or you're on Mars, okay, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, even if they're aliens. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Oh, thank you, Joseph. I forgot about you, Joseph. Sorry.